A list by the Lok Sabha Secretariat over the unparliamentary expressions in the upper and the lower house have raked up a political storm. Raghav Chaddha, a new entrant in the upper house, the House of Elders, is joining us. He's representing the Aam Aadmi Party. Raghav, a very warm welcome. You're starting a new innings. But this controversy, do you think that it does put the opposition in a tight spot as far as attacking the government is concerned?
Well, there is a good thing and a bad thing as far as this gag order is concerned. The good thing is that the government seems to be very well aware of the adjectives that aptly and accurately describe the performance of the government. But the bad thing is that this government is fearful of the truth. This government fears the truth. And this government has issued a gag order which will essentially ensure that the those sitting on the opposition benches are unable to critique the government. The list of words that have been issued in this gag order are the words that the members of parliament of the opposition usually use to critique the government's policies and the functioning of the government. Now, in order to include innocuous words like hypocrisy, like untruth, like incompetent, etc., the government has essentially, displayed its fear to face the truth. They don't want that members of parliament should show the mirror to them. And it is an act which itself is unparliamentary. This list of unparliamentary words that has been issued by the secretariat at the behest of the government, this act itself is unparliamentary, I feel.
But if you look at it, on the first page only, the secretariat has said that this is a routine exercise. Don't you think it's a routine exercise? Or the list of words, the mammoth list of words, really indicates to a design?
Look, the exercise of issuing a list like this is, of course, routine. It must be, to the best of my understanding, it's done every 3-4 years. This exercise is routine. But the inclusion of these basic words, these innocuous words, these words that opposition usually uses to critique the government is not so routine. This is unusual. This is unheard of in the world's biggest and greatest democracy. And the temple of this world's biggest, greatest democracy, that is the Indian Parliament. Today, the opposition has been essentially asked to not use basic words to critique the government. Now, I was just going through the list, Mosmi, and in that list, you find that words like corrupt and black marketing also find mention. Now, the parliament itself has legislated on laws called the Prevention of Corruption Act, an act to curb black marketing. Does that mean that today the parliament, the Indian parliament, can't even legislate on these issues? Withdrawing these words would then perhaps also mean that these laws will also be withdrawn by the government at some point, because they are so scared of these words that they wish to withdraw these words. So I think it's a hasty exercise done by the government. They must consult the members of the opposition. I would recommend that A, this list is withdrawn immediately. B, a committee is constituted which has representation of all political parties, including political parties of the opposition. And that committee must be tasked with this responsibility of summarizing a list of unparliamentary words that actually fall under the definition of unparliamentary, not these words that are usually used by the opposition to describe the actions of the government of India. So therefore, I think they must let go of this fear of facing the truth. Maybe the opposition can teach a good thing to them, and they must learn and understand that the opposition is critiquing them and their policies only for the betterment of the country, and they must listen to the opposition.
Do you think that somewhere with so much of disruption and hangama and pandemonium and the war of words, somewhere the government is flustered and that's why the list is out? I'm just holding this list of unparliamentary expressions, and crocodile tears, shed crocodile tears, ghadiali asu, used in the Lok Sabha, cruel person, words like these which are like deceived, these words which have been used in the lower house, eyewash, fake, I mean farji or fake, These are like common words you use for attacking the policies of the government. So, how do you propose that you all are going to really voice your opinion or voice the people's view in the House if you really have this kind of unparliamentary expressions gag?
Well, look, quite frankly, a very well calibrated exercise seems to have been carried out by the government, in which they have jotted down all the adjectives that describe the performance of this government, the functioning of this government, the policies of this government. And they have gone one step ahead and issued a gag order and said that none of these words can be used. And innocuous words, as you have just outlined, have found mention in this list. And it's a situation has arisen where the word Jumla GV, which is usually used to describe the Prime Minister or the BJP, has become unparliamentary. But the word Andolan GV, which is used by the Prime Minister and the BJP ad nauseum, is not unparliamentary. So, therefore, it seems to be a very convenient and a politically curated list by the BJP. And I urge the government of India to withdraw this list with immediate effect. Number two, constitute a committee of all members of all political parties, members of all political parties. Let them review this list. And lastly,
All right.
as I've said, this act of issuing a list of these unparliamentary words, this act itself, to my mind, is unparliamentary.
All right, you starting a new day, first day at school on Monday. Do you have you chalked out a list of words that you will be using to attack the government, or in fact to raise this issue?
No, I will most certainly
Our
now
opposition
get
MPs
on.
surfing the dictionaries.
I am pretty sure. See, I am the youngest in the House of Elders. I will need to do a little bit of more homework. I will certainly borrow from the experiences of learned members of the House. And after going through this list, I've run out of words, and I certainly need to get hold of a dictionary to basically curate my speeches.
Thank you very much, Raga, for talking to us, and all
Thank
the
you.
best. Wish you all the best. May you be the voice of the people and represent the genuine issues and let the parliament
Thank,
function. Because we've seen a
thank
lot
you.
of pandemonium in the last session of the monsoon, last year of the last year in the monsoon session. And that's all for now. Keep watching India Today.